Us here tonight after 14 years of fighting for safer skies. The families who lost loved ones in the crash of Flight 3407 again are worrying that some of their hard work could be erased. They helped push through a requirement that pilots get 1,500 hours of flight experience before being able to get into the cockpit for commercial flights. Well, a proposal in the U.S. Senate would allow 250 of those hours to be done instead in a classroom. There seems to be enough votes in committee to maybe pass this change, though a vote has technically been postponed. And look at this. The headline in the Buffalo News reads, Flight 3407 safety provision faces unprecedented threat. Joining us now is Jerry Zremski, who wrote that article. He was the longtime D.C. bureau chief and is now a Washington Enterprise reporter for the newspaper, along with being a journalism lecturer at the University of Maryland. Jerry, thanks as always for your time. I wonder if we can start here with just why this vote was delayed and what sort of happens now.
Well, this Senate Commerce Committee vote was delayed yesterday because of really a little bit of chaos within the committee. What happened was that Kyrsten Sinema ended up backing the amendment proposed by Senator John Thune of South Dakota, which would technically really reduce the amount of flight hours required for a new pilot. And Democrats on the Commerce Committee, particularly those on the Aviation Subcommittee, were just enraged by this. One thing that didn't fit into my story, just in terms of length, was this diatribe that Senator Tammy Duckworth of Illinois, a pilot herself, went on the Senate floor, just raging about the dangers of changing the 1,500-hour requirement. I think the Democrats on the committee felt very much betrayed and angry at the fact that Senator Sinema, who's now an independent, had sided with a Republican on this and really threw a wrench into the process of passing this must-pass bill.
Jerry, I know the Western New York delegation is firmly opposed to any change like this, but in reading your article, I mean, this seems like the biggest chance to overturn this work that's more than a decade in the making. I mean, how concerned should we be about this?
Well, it does seem to be the biggest threat yet to the 1,500-hour rule, and the reason for that are because of the political dynamics in the Senate. The Democrats have such a terribly slim minority, and, well, technically Senator Sinema is part of that. She switches sides like this quite often. So the political dynamics make it much more difficult for the local delegation and even Senator Schumer, who's a big defender of the 1,500-hour rule, to protect it this time. But I also have to say, the 1,500-hour rule is only one part of a really big comprehensive aviation safety bill that the families got passed into law. And there are many people in the aviation community who think that the other provisions in the bill, pilot training provisions, pilot rest requirements, that sort of thing, are actually more important. So it's not as if this is going to decimate the bill, but I think what the families really worry about is a chipping away. And if the airlines can chip away at the bill in this way, does that mean they will try in other ways and to try to reduce some of the other safety elements of the bill over time?
Yeah, something to continue to follow for sure. Jerry Zremski with the Buffalo News. Thanks so much for taking some time for us, Jerry. BuffaloNews.com. If you don't have the hard copy of the paper, make sure you check out the reporting. Jerry, thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.